Hi, I hope this video helps you if you have to fix your keyboard, if you've spilled orange juice on it, or if it's just dirty. And I will note out by saying this is at your own risk, so do take your time and be careful. And here I've annotated a few of the keys that I've covered in this video, so if you want to click on it, it'll skip you right to that specific key. So when we start this, we're going to need a few tools, and these tools are the tweezers, various size flatheads. You need to be really thin at the bottom so it can get under the key, the various gadget accessory, and a few of the little earbuds to clean out the gunk underneath. And the gadget accessory you can get for about $2 online from iFixit I've seen. So the first method I'm showing here is not potentially the best one, I'm just displaying it, and it's just basically flossing a flathead screwdriver underneath to try and prise off the plastic lock or the plastic keys. And it is, if you take your time, it does work well, but it does have a risk of damaging the actual plastic bracket, which I find is not the best, but it is a valid way, and if you do it properly it does work very fast. And here it is, just pulling the key off after the final bracket. And my preferred way, which I suggest you use, is just using the gadget accessory that you get with various mobile phone disassembly packs, and it's a lot easier not to flick the actual plastic open because it stops you going all the way under and getting under that, which then just flicks it all out and it's a mess. And this is what happens, speaking of which, when you use too much force. And here I've gone gone too far under, don't do that, and you'll just end up flicking the plastic bracket up, which is quite delicate, and you'll end up breaking it. Now that's not to say if you break it, that's not the end of the world, and here's just what it looks like without it. So if you do fix it, it does take a while to fix, it's not the end of the world, but keep on persevering and you will sort it, and there it is, back to itself. And cleaning it, you need to just open under the flap, see if there's any grit under it or something that might be jamming it, then just wipe through with a bit of rubbing alcohol, and then clean it with the other end of your tip. So never use the wet end twice, always remember have a separate set for dry, and then just reattach the key after a while, after you've let it dry, don't reattach it straight away. And also, so here's just the standard reattachments. If you've taken the key off, as I showed before, you cannot reattach it, so you line up the slimmer dots at the top and the larger ones at the bottom. Obviously it will help if the key is like a W or something, and then you just click it back on and you get a nice satisfying click when you do this, and there it goes. So the shift key is this is basically a larger version of the standard key, so it doesn't take that much more lining up, to be fair. You just line it up, as you can see. Then just click it back into place. It is a bit fiddly even though it's bigger. And there you go. So it's the attachment of the control key is a bit fiddlier because it's got a little metal wire which helps to give it a bit of its rigidity and its pushback. So the actual mechanism itself is about the same size as the shift key, and there you go. And you just so you got to make sure that the lines line up through the holes. This is pretty tricky, it is harder than it looks. It took me a while to line it up, but then once it's lined up it's basically the same method as the other ones, and you just click it back into place. I start at the top and work to the bottom. As you can see, it's got a nice reassuring click. So the command button is basically the same, it's roughly the same size and it's the same mechanism, but note there, all the junk that I had underneath it, I've just cleaned it off, so don't forget to clean under the side of the keys as well, because that is a place that you could miss. And there you go, just slide it under again. Those two little metal brackets, you just slide the circular rod through and then clip it on as normal. There we have it. So what happens if, like before, your bracket snaps? So you've got to work out, this is the crucial part. I know how countless times I've attached it the wrong way around and I've had to unbreak it. So what you do is, here I'm finding out which bevel fits into which. So once you've worked that out, there's two little pimples on the either side. So you put one of the pimples into the little hole, which I'm doing now. So I'm just doing it on the right side. It is pretty tricky. So once the right side's in, then you want to stretch out the left side, not too hard, just stretch it out so then the pimple can slot into the one, and then you've got your working bracket again that can be placed back in. So remember to clean under your bracket in case there's any grit or something stopping it. So here's the function keys, and here's me quickly removing one. And it's quite easy actually. I think the function key is the easiest. I would recommend starting with these to get your eye in. And there's a little bracket, it's a lot smaller than the others. So here it is lining up again. And like I said, it is a quite expensive keyboard, so I would practice with the less vital keys first. So back to Backspace. I anticipate this one probably will have a bit of wear on it because it is used quite a lot. And just remove your spudger all the way around the outside, and it will just click off like that. And this also has another metal bracket. So to replace it, much like the others in effect, line up the metal rods and just slide them through the little holes in the bracket. And remember to fully clip in the actual key to the bracket first to make sure there's no slippage, because that could be what happened. Your key could have come undone from one of the little clasps, so that could be an easy fix. And then just clip it down like the others. And here's the enter key. This one is the trickiest I found. I didn't attempt the spacebar because mine was fine, so I didn't want to fix something that wasn't broken. So basically I ended up prizing it open from the top and the bottom, because it has got two little metal bars underneath I found. So do take your time with this one. You don't want to end up snapping it because it is quite long. You could get quite a lot of force onto it without realising it. So take your time, slowly sliding it underneath to unclip more of the brackets. And remember, don't rush this, you don't want to break your enter key. Almost there. And there we have it. It's pretty much undone. There we go, and you'll see there's the metal rod that goes all the way down the length of it. I'm sorry, not two, it's just a single rod. And then it just slips out like that, and you can give it a quick clean because mine was a bit black. And also, yeah, read the little annotation. If you've had a bit of use, then I'd swap probably a function key I don't use, and one of the random numpad keys or buttons I don't use as much, to give it hopefully a bit more spring in it. And then to reline it back up, the top one just slides into the little, it's like a little tunnel to slide it into, and then the bottom one you've got to slide it through the hole like the command and the backspace keys as well, to name a few. So they're just helping it in at the bottom because this one was the hardest I had to do. So once it's in, check at the top because you don't want it coming out loose there. Then just push it down, even force, don't force it if it's not in. Unfold it and look at it again, and there it is. So I'll finish off. If you've got any questions, please ask them down below, and if you like this video, please subscribe because I've got a few more MacBook related and Mac videos.